everybody, welcome to Series Recap here for the week of June 27th. It is Tyson week and we are well underway with all of our Series E seasons. We're coming off of CEO out in Florida last weekend, so plenty to talk about there, as well as some interesting action in both Halo and Apex Legends. So let's not waste any time and get right into the fun. Now let's start with some Apex Legends. Last week ended with a strong performance from Team Intel, their best showing of the season, and they were looking to carry that into this week's competition. They were able to do so on Tuesday night in particular, as they were dominant on our Tuesday open night. Team Vizio and Excedrin, who have been the two best teams throughout the first part of the season, did have a bit of a down performance and were looking to bounce back going into Wednesday. They weren't quite able to do that, though Vizio did find themselves just inside of the top 5 at the end of the night. This time it was a battle between Nerf, who was really consistent through all 6 games, and Team Intel. Intel's strong performance in the last 2 games of the night got them into a tie with Nerf for first place. Ultimately, Nerf won the tiebreaker, however, to grab their first open night victory of the season, splitting the nights between Intel and Nerf this past week. Of course, going into next week, a lot of eyes are on the ALGS Championship, which will be going on next weekend. It is important to note that we will have an off week for Series E Apex Legends, as many players will be focusing on that event, but keep an eye on, as we will have some special things going on here at Series E next week. Now let's talk some Guilty GearStrive. CEO went down out in Florida just this past weekend, and 3 different Series E representatives were out at the event. Solstice, our resident Ramlethal main, who finished in the top 3 of Series E last season, finished tied for 5th place at CEO. Another solid showing there for the Ramlethal player. Meanwhile, Razo and Jonathan Tene, 2 of the toughest competitors in Series E over the last season in change, met in grand finals. Jonathan Tene ended up taking the win and being crowned CEO champion, whereas Razo finished in 2nd place. Big representation from the Series E players, and we look forward to more from them in the future. Now coming back to Series E, of course, we had another week of competition this week. Umisho had another strong run, but was in fact finally kept out of the grand finals here in Series E. Darkrai, in their first performance in Series E since the start of the entire circuit, went all the way to the grand finals with a stellar losers bracket run playing the Gold Lewis. Meanwhile, from the winner's side, Peppery Splash made it to grand finals for the 2nd week in a row, and despite Darkrai giving them all that they could handle in grand finals, going to a reset series and a 5th game final round, Peppery Splash ultimately came out on top to grab the title of Series E champion this past week. Finally, let's finish up with some Halo talk. Of course, we started the week with Halo Infinite Open Night, and top 8 was very interesting. Not as great of a performance from Esports Arena Red and Blue, but one squad that struggled early once getting into top 8 made a hell of a run. Fnatic got knocked to the losers bracket in their first match in top 8, but made the run all the way to grand finals. The team that they met there was Halo 5 Guardians, a mix-up squad of a couple of KCP players, along with Eco and Collect. And that superstar lineup was still able to take the victory despite all the momentum that Fnatic carried into grand finals. Now, going into Friday, it's of course Pro Night. We had Esports Arena Red and Blue out along with BBG and that same KCP roster. This time around, KCP played a great first round series, met BBG in grand finals, and while Built by Gamers were able to force a game 4 and made things very close in oddball, they came out with the win. KCP grabs $500 for themselves, and they dominate Tyson Week here for Halo Infinite. That is it, everybody, for all of the action from Series E in Tyson Week. It was a fun time, and we're looking forward to more in the future. A couple of updates for you all going into next week. Of course, have a great 4th of July. with a couple of events going on and 4th of July happening on Monday, it is going to be an off week for both Apex Legends and Halo Infinite, so no live shows for those, but we do have some special things going on Tuesday and Wednesday night, so make sure to keep an eye on our Twitch channel. And of course, we will be back with Guilty GearStrive on Thursday night, so don't miss out on that. All of the fun, of course, kicking off at 4 p.m. Pacific time over at twitch.tv/esportsarena. Don't miss out on that. We'll see you again next time.